We have spent the last 48 hours exploring the ancient Egyptian town of Luxor, but our trip is taking us further south now. We're going down to Aswan. Aswan is another ancient city. It's pretty easily reached by train, car, or plane.
But we have chosen a fourth, more luxurious option, and we're taking a 5-star 4-night cruise down the River Nile all the way to Aswan. I am so impressed. I was picturing the Halong Bay cruise just because that's the only reference point I have, but this is like a proper cruise ship. Look how massive our bedroom is. And we have a bath. When do you ever have a bath on a cruise ship? That's insane. The itinerary for the rest of the day is 2 o'clock we set sail. There's tea time up on the sun deck, but first, lunch. Our first meal on the cruise ship, and it looks like it's buffet style, so round 1. They have everything, so there's fish, beef, chicken, desserts, a salad bar, a whole section dedicated to bread. So we've got our first plates, and I think it's going to be our last plates because this is a lot of food. All of a sudden there was this small boat tied to our boat and they were trying to sell us stuff.
They were waiting for us to pass and they threw a rope in and it caught, and then they just went alongside us.
Yelling out, throwing stuff up onto the top of the ship, asking people to pay them. It was pretty intense. Yeah, as if really, that's allowed.
Really cool to see though. Just had our second lot of boat guys come through, throwing stuff on the boat. Really cool to see. It's really exciting for some reason. But now it is the tea time up on the main deck. I think we're done with the boats for today. We came up to the top deck and they immediately started throwing them up to us. We got 2 up here and I got to drop 1 back, which was fun. I think we get refreshments here in about 10 minutes. So.
One of those things where they put water in and you float up and then they put it out and you go down.
Good morning from day 2 on the Nile. We left the windows open last night to wake up with an amazing view and a boat park there. This morning, we don't really have a schedule or anything, so we're gonna go hunt down an itinerary for the day, see what the boat's doing, and on the way, grab some breakfast.
That was a bit hectic getting out of the cruise ship.
Very hectic.
But we were on a tuk-tuk with our new friend Mustafa, and we're going to Edfu Temple. I've noticed in Egypt is that all of the guards seem really scary and intimidating, but if you give them a quick good morning, they all jump up, they have the biggest smile on their face, and they just want to help you. So don't judge a book by its cover. Shukran. Okay. Not everyone's as nice.
Whenever you do a lot of temples, whether it's here or in Southeast Asia, there is a high risk of being templed out where you've just seen too much of the same thing, but we've invented a game to avoid that happening.
You've heard of Zich dog, now you've heard of Zich scarab. So scarabs are very popular in hieroglyphics, and essentially it's just a game of who can spot the most. So this is Edfu Temple, or also known as the Temple of Horus, and it's one of the more recently built temples in ancient Egypt, and it has a mixture of ancient Egyptian and ancient Greek architecture, which makes it very interesting to look at. It's also one of the more perfectly preserved shrines because it was built so recently. And according to ancient Egyptian mythology, this temple was built on the site where Horus and Set, good and evil, had war, and Horus won.
Was that a bet? PTSD. They had Wi-Fi. God, that's a good find. We both agree that this is the best thing we've seen in Egypt so far.
Sorry pyramids, but this beats you. It is just so well preserved, and all of the hieroglyphics are so like sharp and crisp.
This scarab with wings. That's double points. Double points.
So easy to see what everything was drawn as because it's so well preserved.
It really is. Obviously this is dedicated to Horus, but there's like Horus, Anubis, bunch of scarabs. It is really cool. If you do come to Egypt and you can get here to Edfu, this is the one you gotta see.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know whether it's the right time of day for it, but the light streaming in through all these different pockets is awesome.
Yeah, like when you're inside of the temple, there's just these square cutouts, and the ray that comes in just looks so magical. Times 2.
Oh.
He's playing fish scarab as well. It's catching on quick. Zich scarab with a star over it. I'm pretty sure that's the king.
This is the busiest place we've ever been in our lives.
It's me, remember?
towards them.
That was honestly insane. It was such a small, tight alleyway. Shopkeepers just going in front of everyone. Thousands of people going against the way we were going. We timed it very well.
Yet again, if you want to come to something, come early in the morning. It's worth the early wake up. So much fun. That was definitely my favourite temple we've been to so far in Egypt, which is kind of crazy because I hadn't really heard about it at all.
We ended up going to the visitor centre on the way out for 5 minutes. Really cool. Little documentary to show us all about Edfu Temple. And I won Zipscope.
No, you didn't! Now we have come back up to the sun deck for our favourite part of the day. I know we've only done it twice, but it really is. It's tea time. We get coffees, but still, tea time. And cookies. And you get these awesome panoramic views of both the East Bank and the West Bank. And we just take in that we get to do this crazy thing.
Your tea/coffee.
So good. We love this time of the day because it's so much fun getting to watch the life on the Nile just pass you by. We just saw a bunch of families and kids bathing and having fun in the water, as well as some horses and donkeys. It's just so much fun getting to see this different side of Egypt and this different side of like Nile river life.
Tea time was great. I think we were a little bit more tired than we thought we were going to be by this time, so we've just come back to the room to relax for a couple of hours.
Just watching the sun go down. Had such a good first 2 days on the NILE cruise. I feel like these were the 2 hectic days, like where we're busy doing stuff, and the next 3 days it's just relaxation.
Yes. I don't know what I was more excited for, but I'm definitely excited to relax.
Oh yeah. Face the way you're facing. Put your arm down and a little bit back. Go to the right. Go a little bit further right and down a little bit. Capitana.